The Constitution of India, Preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Hi everyone, hope you all are doing well. In the last biology class, we had discussed on the topics mainly the digestion in the mouth and the mode of swallowing. So you all have understood what all changes happens inside the digestive tract while we swallow the food and how does the digestion in the mouth takes place. The role of saliva in digestion, the position of salivary glands, etc. And you also understood that how does the partially digested food from the mouth reaches the stomach through esophagus. It is through the process peristalsis. As you all know that esophagus is a tubular organ. It is completely a muscular organ and it is just for a passage for the food to reach the stomach from the mouth. And there is no digestive enzymes present in the esophagus. The esophagus is 25 to 28 centimeter long and approximately 2 centimeter in diameter. So that's all about esophagus. And now you all know that the food is in the stomach. So the partially digested food from the mouth reaches the stomach and the further digestive process takes place in the stomach. And the stomach is a muscular organ and it is located on the left side of the upper abdomen. That means now I'm standing in front of you, isn't it? So here you can see the human digestive system. So the position of the stomach or the position of abdomen, this is the abdominal cavity, and the position of stomach is the upper left side of my body. The same manner in your body also, the position of the stomach is on the upper part of the abdominal cavity and in the left side. In this side is the position of stomach. So here in the figure it is very clear. Hope you have understood the location of stomach in the abdominal cavity. So it is also a complete muscular organ and we can say that the stomach is a J-shaped organ or U-shaped organ because it has a J shape as well as it has a wide U shape. And you all know that the organs in the alimentary canal all are tubular in structure. So stomach is the only organ or stomach is the only widest part of the alimentary canal. And we can call the stomach a storage bag because you know that a storage bag means many things we can store inside that bag, isn't it? And here our stomach has the ability to store whatever food we eat and whatever liquid we drink because the wall of the stomach is elastic in nature so that it can expand and contract. As per the quantity of the food that we take, the stomach can expand and contract. So the stomach has the ability to store whatever food and whatever liquid we eat and drink. And it takes 0.8 seconds to reach the food from the mouth to the stomach. And you know that the digestion in the mouth takes place with the help of the digestive juice saliva. In the same manner, inside the stomach also digestive glands are present in the inside the stomach, that is the inner lining of the stomach wall, contains many digestive glands, and they are known as gastric glands. And these glands secrete digestive juice known as gastric juice. So these gastric juice will act upon the partially digested food that came from the mouth to the stomach. At the same time, a strong peristalsis also taking place in the stomach. The muscles in the wall of the stomach also has the ability to contract and relax. So a strong peristaltic movement is taking place in the stomach. This will grind and churn the food again. And inside the stomach, the food becomes a paste form due to this churning and grinding, and it is known as chyme or shine. The spelling is CHYME. Okay, so now we are moving on to the next topic, that is we'll discuss on the components of gastric juice. The gastric juice consists of 4 main components, and they are 2 enzymes, that is pepsin and gastric lipase, then hydrochloric acid and mucus. So let us discuss their function one by one. So first we will discuss on the function of pepsin. So pepsin converts the protein partially into peptones. So the digestion of protein is taking place in the stomach, but the digestion is not completed in the stomach. Only partial digestion of protein is taking place in the stomach. And in the case of gastric lipase, it digests the fat partially. So inside the stomach, only the protein and the fat undergoes digestive process, but the starch does not undergo any digestive process in the stomach. It is as such in the form of maltose. Now let us discuss on the function of hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid, it destroys the germs present in the food, and it also regulates the pH to be suitable for the digestive process in the stomach. And next one is mucus. Mucus protects the wall of the stomach from the action of digestive enzymes. Okay, so these are the components of gastric juice and their function. Now we will discuss on hydrochloric acid and mucus. As you all know that hydrochloric acid is highly concentrated. We use the hydrochloric acid in labs, isn't it? If 1 or 2 drops of hydrochloric acid fall on our hand or on our dress, definitely that will be destroyed, or our skin will get burnt. So it is that much concentrated. But so that much concentrated hydrochloric acid is produced in our stomach. Its pH is approximately 2.5. But still the whole of the stomach is not getting harmed. What may be the reason? This is what now we are going to discuss on. Okay. So the oxyntic cells in the wall of the stomach produces hydrochloric acid. As I told you, its pH ranges from 1 to 3. And if we keep any metal or iron nail in the hydrochloric acid, its pH value is 2.5. Definitely it will erode. But our stomach wall is not getting harmed. The reason is the epithelial tissue in the inner lining of the stomach wall has specialized cells. These cells produce mucus and bicarbonates. Mucus protects the inner wall of the stomach, and bicarbonates will neutralize the action of acid. You all know that bicarbonate is alkali. When an alkali reacts with the acid, what will happen? Neutralization process will take place. So here the bicarbonate will neutralize the action of hydrochloric acid, so that our body protect. This is a self-defense mechanism which is seen in our body. But in some people, the production of hydrochloric acid will be excessive, and that will lead to gastric ulcer. So if you have any acidic problem, immediately you have to consult a doctor and you have to take proper medication. Okay, so this is all about the digestive process which is taking place in the stomach. Now the food is ready to move to the small intestine, the next step of digestive process. So human small intestine is approximately 5 to 6 meters long, and it is found in the abdomen in the form of multiple folds and coils. So here you can see in the small intestine there are lots of infoldings or foldings in the inner wall of the small intestine. Due to this peculiar structure of small intestine, the food moves very slowly through the small intestine. This helps in the maximum absorption of nutrients. So, in the small intestine, the digestive process completed and the absorption of nutrients begins. From the stomach, the food in the paste form reaches the duodenum, which is the initial part of the small intestine. So I told you small intestine is approximately 5 to 6 meters long, and it is divided into 3 parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Duodenum is the initial part of the small intestine. So from the stomach, first the food reaches the duodenum, and from there as the digestive process progresses, it moves to the jejunum and finally reaches the ileum, and there the digestive process completed. So first we will discuss on a digestive process which is taking place in the duodenum. Okay, so duodenum, here you can see it is a U-shaped part. It is the beginning part of the small intestine, and here is the role of the digestive glands, liver and pancreas. That also you can see here, the liver and the pancreas. So you all know that liver is the largest internal organ and the largest gland in the human body. The position of the liver is on the upper right portion of the stomach. Here you can see the liver very clearly. It is on the upper right portion of the stomach, and it just overlaps the stomach. And the same manner you can see here the pancreas also, and the pancreas is just behind the stomach, and it is surrounded by the organs like a small intestine, liver and spleen. So first we will discuss on the role of the digestive glands, liver and pancreas in the digestive process which is taking place in the duodenum. So the liver, it is the largest gland in our body. It secretes the digestive juice known as bile. And bile does not contain any enzyme. Even though it does not contain any enzymes, it plays a very important role in the digestive process which is taking place in the duodenum. And the main functions of bile are it makes the acidic food that comes from the stomach to alkaline, and it also helps to break down the fat into smaller particles. So these are the two functions of bile. So the breaking down of fat into smaller particles, and the process is known as emulsification. It is not given in the textbook, but for your knowledge I am telling this. So that's all about the role of bile in the digestive process which is taking place in the duodenum. Next we'll move on to the pancreas. So pancreas secretes a digestive juice known as pancreatic juice, and it consists of 3 enzymes: pancreatic amylase, pancreatic lipase and trypsin. So pancreatic amylase converts starch partially into maltose. Then pancreatic lipase converts the fat into fatty acids and glycerol, and trypsin converts the protein partially into peptides. So these are the 3 important enzymes present in the pancreatic amylase, and these 3 enzymes act upon the partially digested food in the duodenum and convert them into some more simpler units. The bile and the pancreatic juice reach the duodenum through a common duct. And the bile secreted by the liver is stored in the gallbladder, which is a small pear-shaped bladder or gland which is found below the liver. And its function is to store the bile juice until it is required for the digestion. So when we eat food, the gallbladder contracts and release the bile which is stored in it, and this bile reaches the duodenum through small duct, and this duct is a common duct for both bile and the pancreatic juice. So the digestion in the duodenum is completed. Now the food from the duodenum move forward to the ileum, because the digestive process completes in the ileum. So inside the stomach there are digestive glands known as gastric glands. In the same manner, there are digestive glands present in the inner lining of the small intestine also, especially in the ileum. And these digestive glands are known as intestinal glands, and they secrete digestive juice known as intestinal juice. And this intestinal juice contains enzymes. And some of the enzymes converts the maltose, lactose. Lactose is the carbohydrate present in the milk, and the sugar, that is sucrose. So some of the enzymes convert these maltose, then lactose and sucrose into their simple forms known as glucose, fructose and galactose. So glucose, fructose and galactose are the simple absorbable units of carbohydrate. Then the next set of enzymes converts the protein into amino acids, and the digestion of fat is almost completed in the duodenum itself, because in the duodenum the fat is converted into fatty acids and glycerol. So what is digestion? The conversion of complex food components present in the food that we eat get transformed into simple absorbable units when the food passes through the different parts of the alimentary canal, isn't it? So here in the small intestine, the digestive process completed, and the complex food components such as the carbohydrate, protein and fat which is present in the food that we eat is getting, or they have transformed into their simple absorbable units, and these are the products of the digestive process. So the products are the simple units of carbohydrate are glucose, fructose and galactose, and the simple unit of protein is amino acid, and fat is fatty acids and glycerol. So this is what happens to the food that we eat. When it passes through the different parts of the alimentary canal, it will undergo many chemical reactions, and finally they will be transformed into simple absorbable forms. So what are the other food components which do not undergo digestive process? They are water, vitamins and minerals. Why they do not undergo digestive process? Because our body is able to absorb them as such. So no need of any digestion. The body can absorb them directly. Understood? So this is how our body gets the nutrients from the food that we eat. And you can also observe the video of the digestive process which is taking place in the human body. Okay, so hope you all have understood the concepts, mainly the digestion in human being understood. So watch the video thoroughly and read the textbook. When you watch the video, you keep the textbook also with you and note down the important points. It is very important. All the enzymes and their reactions are very, very important. So study thoroughly. Write all the enzymes and their reactions in the file, and one table is given there for writing the products of the digestive process. Fill that table also. So keep on watching the video. Be safe at home. Be healthy at home. Thank you. This is your Maya teacher signing off.